So this story time is going to be about me learning that my ex not only had one child, he had two, and he lied about it. Hey guys, how you doing? It's your girl Abia here. I hope everyone is having a blessed day. Guys, today is Sunday. Today, as you can see, we got the scarf on. Well, not scarf, sorry, towel. We got the towel on. Guys, how I'm already starting this video, I'm already messing up. So we are in our bathroom and I am basically about to retwist my hair. Now, along with this, I am going to be doing my continuation of my story time. So pretty much I am going to be picking up where I left off. Guys, this part of my life, it's a lot. So I can't necessarily go through every single detail in one video because we will be here for hours on end. So I'm doing piece by piece so that one, I could be able to explain exactly what was going on, where I was at that time in my life, and hopefully, like I always say, or at least I said in the last video, is that I want you guys to be able to hear my story and also learn from my story. If there are people who are young watching this video, I want them to be able to hear my experience and basically make better decisions, because when you are in your teens, as I have mentioned before, we make a lot of mistakes. So I'm gonna get started with my hair. I wanted to show you what I'm going to be using for my hair today. It's not going to be anything too crazy. So I'm going to be using this rose water. This is the Heritage rose water. You could find this at Walmart, and it's basically rose water and glycerin. Normally people use this for their skin, but I use it for my hair as well too. I tried to find the water that I was using before, the rice water, which I also got from Walmart, but they didn't have it in stock and it was just a hard time trying to get it. So I was just like, you know what, we're just gonna move on. So this is also what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the Palmer's. This is an olive oil formula with vitamin E. This is what I'm going to be using to put onto my scalp, just basically to grease my scalp. Right now I am going through kind of like my scalp is flaking a little bit. So I don't know if my hair is going through like a transition. These locks that I do have right now, these are my second set of locks. I never experienced this with my first set of locks. I figured that right now it could just be changing my hormones or what I'm eating, or it could just be different variations. So I was trying to, figure out like the best, I guess you could say, formula for this second set of locks. So I'm going to be retwisting my hair. I showed you guys this before. This is the lock and twist. This is a conditioning, it says braid gel, but you can also use it for locks as well too. It's by this company called Taishi. I also have a backup retwist gel in my room, but I want to pretty much get rid of this gel. So the reason why I'm using that up. And then I got my clips here, my comb, the head ties. So I'm gonna take my locks down, and it's doing pretty well, besides the flaking situation that I was experiencing, or that I'm currently experiencing. I don't think I ever did like a length check with you guys, but this is where my hair is at now. And so you can see, hopefully you can see, I'll put them all to the back. So my longest lock, I think, is maybe, I'm trying to find it, maybe this one is probably my longest lock. So right now it's pretty much like right touching my bra strap, like the bottom of my bra strap. Now, normally I cut the ends of my locks, but I try not to do it too often, because I don't like when my locks get that fuzzy, curly kind of situation. But they look fine for right now. It doesn't look like there's any like fuzzies down at the bottom, because I want like a solid lock. I don't want any type of like loose strand on my locks. And how I'm going to do my hair, I'm just going to twist them. I'm not doing anything special or anything like that. I'm just going to twist it and slap it in a ponytail. I'm going to do a middle part. So let's go ahead and start this story time. So this story time is going to be about me learning that my ex not only had one child, he had two, and he lied about it. Now, guys, I just want to lay it down, or be upfront. I'm always upfront, but my ex was a compulsive liar, and I felt like he lied about things that he necessarily didn't need to lie about, but he did. And I feel like many times, especially with that situation, and I'll get into it further, but just to start off, I feel like he did that because he knew I was going to forgive him. He knew that I was going to forgive him, and I was just very naive. I feel like also he gaslighted me. What does gaslighting mean? I'm gonna put the definition here, because I always hear people talk about gaslighting. But what does gaslighting mean? Does that mean like you think it's a certain situation, and then someone tells you it's not that situation, and then they come back and you realize it was that situation? Like, I need to understand what does gaslighting mean, because I hear people talk about gaslighting. I was gaslighted. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean that you were gaslighted? Like, were you lied to? Were you, like, what does it mean? You know, so I'm going to put that definition here, because I always wonder what that meant. But I do feel like if gaslighting means that you thought it was one thing, and the person pretty much told you that it's not that thing, and then they come back a couple of months later or a couple of weeks later and say, well, yeah, it actually was that. But don't be mad, but don't be, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't any type of malice intent or anything like that. Is that what it is? Because that's what happened to me. So this is how I found out about the first kid. So in my ex's wallet, he had like a picture of a child. So I was like, you know how you have pictures of your kids, like school pictures or whatever, like you went somewhere and you took pictures of your children or whatever, and now it's inside your wallet. So was his situation. There was some type of picture inside his wallet. So I'm like, who is this little boy inside your wallet? And he was like, I forgot who he said it was. He was like, oh, it's nobody. It's, it's whatever. So I'm like, okay. Now, a part of me already felt like he wasn't being honest. But again, 19-year-old Abia was like, well, I'm just going to believe what he says. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to pressure him to tell me. He said that this is what it is, so this is what it is. This is 19-year-old thinking. But 40-year-old thinking is like, nah, girl, you need to get to the top of this. You need to, or bottom of this. You need to figure out what the heck is going on. Like, what is this man, not telling you? All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I need to get my mirror Like I said, 40-year-old me should have pressed the situation. But 19-year-old me did not press the situation. So I don't remember what actually transpired for him to then be honest and be like, okay, I have, a child. At this point, he only told me about one child. The second child, I didn't know about yet. Okay, I moved off from it. I was like, just be honest. He's being honest with me. There's no reason for him to lie or anything. And I'm just going to believe, what he says. So he comes to me one day. He's like, I need to tell you something. And I'm like, what's up? And he was like, you remember that picture that you saw in my wallet? And I was like, yeah, the little boy. He was like, well, that's my son. And I'm like, excuse me? He was like, yeah, that's my son. I was like, when I asked you before who was this child, you told me that it was nobody. That you told me that it was, whatever you said at that point, you told me it was nobody. So now you're coming back to me and you're telling me that that child is yours. And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, what's going on with the mom? Because this is my thinking. Like, what's the reason why you're not, you're no longer with the mother anymore? He's like, well, it didn't work out with me and her and everything. And we decided not, to be together anymore. So he was like, well, do you want to meet him? So I'm like, well, right now, I don't know what I'm thinking. Like, I'm like, this is a whole lot for me to process in a short period of time. You're just coming down to me and you're telling me that you have a whole child. I'm 19 years old. And I just really don't know if I'm ready for all of that. So I didn't go to anybody to talk to anybody about it. I just dealt with it myself as I normally did at that age. I was just like, okay, what am my 19-year-old brain is thinking, what am I going to do with this information? Now that he's told me that he has a whole child, like, do I really want to be involved with a man who has a child? It was like, okay, listen, I'll forgive you for you not being honest with me. Sure, I'll meet the boy. I met him. I want to say he was probably about 3 or 4 at this point. And this kid, when he first met me, he was a lot. Every time that I saw my ex, his son was there, like every other weekend. So I guess maybe he figured so that he could spend time with me or spend time with me and his kid, that he'll just be honest and tell me what was up. That's my thinking on the reason of why he decided to just be honest about what was going on, because he had to split time between the both of us. So now it's like, okay, I don't have to split time. I could see her and I could see him and all is well. When all this had went down, I had said to him, is there anything else that you need to tell me? Like, is there anything else that you're not being honest about that you need to tell me? He's like, no. I told you everything. All my, business is, everything that's going on. I'm like, are you sure? Like, there's nothing else. Because I don't want you coming to me a couple of months down the road and you're telling me another thing that you weren't honest about. Like, I just don't have the time for that. I don't want to deal with that. He's like, nah. He's like, there's nothing else. I don't remember the exact time frame, to be honest with you. Because like I said, I dated my ex for a minute. I dated him for a couple of years. So I can't remember all of the time frames. But one day, he comes to me, he's like, I need to tell you something. And I'm like, oh God, here we go again. So I'm like, what is it? He was like, I need to tell you that I have a daughter. So I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you have a daughter? He was like, that I have an 8-year-old daughter. And I'm just like, so you had a son and you have an 8-year-old daughter? And you were not honest about either of them? And he was just like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to leave, and I knew that it was going to be a lot, and you know, I really care about you, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, but if you care so much about me, this is 40-year-old Abia right now. If you cared so much about me, then you would be honest with me and tell me the truth. When I had asked you before, if you had any other information that you needed to tell me, you said no. So now you're coming back to me and you're telling me that you have another child. So he's like, yeah. By this point, I think we were living together, I believe. I felt like he waited to tell me this so that I have no place to go back to. Because I was in between, at this point, I was in between, I want to say my grandmother's place. I was renting a room. So now I uprooted all that I really know, all my independence, and now we are living together. What am I going to do now? Like, do I stay? Do I go? What else is he lying about? You know, it was just it was a very stressful time. I was distraught. I was embarrassed. I was hurt. I was just in a very not good place. And, you know, one of the things that I think about in therapy is some of the decisions that I've made in my life. Why did I make that decision? Why did I make that decision to stay? Why did I not go? And I feel like, I'm going to be honest with you guys, is that it has a lot to do with my not having a male figure in the home, wanting to be taken care of, wanting to be safe, and never really feeling safe. Feeling safe, I feel like that's the wrong way to say that. I felt safe. Don't get me wrong. I did. Let me take that back. I felt safe, but I just felt also that my life was very unconventional. It didn't have the picket fence and the upbringing that you hear about on TV. You didn't have the father in the home. My father, that's a whole nother conversation in itself, but my father pretty much was non-existent. Well, not even pretty much non-existent. He was non-existent. I don't even know my dad's name. I just throw that out there to this day. I always have to have my mom remind me what his name is because I don't remember his name. With that, I was always looking for a safe male person, somebody to do what is right, take care of me, show me that there are good men. I thought I had somebody good, but he wasn't good. You know, he was toxic. He went about things the wrong way. And I feel like God was punishing him for his choices. And I was collateral because I decided to stay around. He was not good. And God was just like, nah, you're not doing what is right by me. I'm just going to continue to punish you. I can't put it all on him. He didn't make me stay. I had a choice to go. But I stayed because I thought that I had what they say, the cream of the crop. I thought that I had the cream of the crop. I thought that I can save a person, and nah, you can't save people. People are going to be people. If people choose to change, that's because they want to change. Not because you asked them to change. Not because, you think they're going to change because you do X, Y, and Z. Nah. They'll change when they want to change. Now, it's great if they change for you. I'm doing this because I know that this would make you happy. I'm doing this because I want to see things better. Yeah, that's a possibility. But they have to want it for themselves. And I never asked him to change. But in my heart, I wanted him to. I just wanted him to be honest. And I was just like, how long do I have to continue to deal with a person like this? But at the end of the day, it was my choice to continue to deal with him. The only person that I can look at is myself. It was an interesting time in my life. I did want to meet the little girl, the 8-year-old, beautiful little girl, and everything. I even met her mom. Mom was really nice, and I think that probably she wanted him or the little girl to get to know him, and probably was like, listen, when are you going to spend time with your daughter? I feel like it was the same situation as the first child. And he probably figured my life is going good right now, because she's not going anywhere. I could just let her know what's going on. She's going to help. She's going to be another role model or advocate in their life. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what was his thinking. I don't know what was his thinking. All I know is that he lied, he manipulated, and he used it to his advantage because he knew that I wasn't going anywhere. And that's the reason why they always say, like, the older crew always say, don't mess, tell the young ladies, don't mess with men that are older. Don't date men because they're looking for a weak woman. They're looking for a woman who hasn't really lived. And because they know that they could be able to get away with things that they wouldn't get away with an older woman that has been seasoned and knows exactly the tricks of the trade, as they say. And I feel like that's exactly, I'm trying to see if this thing, I can fix this part. Sorry, guys. I feel like that's exactly what he did. That he knew I could manipulate her because she is young and dumb. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ooh, like I said in my last video, I haven't experienced enough life. I haven't experienced enough pain. I haven't been able to see that people are just not going to be good people sometimes. You know? And he used that to his advantage. He used that to his advantage. And he got away with it. I would just say to the people out there who may have, who maybe not necessarily dealt with this experience that I dealt with, but dealt with their own things, is like, if you are with a person or individual who can't be honest with you, don't expect them to change. They're going to likely continue to be dishonest with you. Not saying that you can't change. Anybody can change. But I feel like it takes a lot to want change. It takes a lot for somebody to see their flaws and want to improve on who they are, because they're used to doing what they're doing. They're getting away with what they were doing before. So what's the point of changing? For what? Oh, because you think it's good for me? Nah, I'm good. I'm going to continue to do what I do because it's good for me. You know, a lot of times also people are not able to see their ways. See that they are doing things that are not good. You know, some people find pleasure in just jacking up other people's lives. I know my ex did. Very much so. There's things that I will talk about in future story times that he did that I was just like, bro, but why? Why would you want to hurt supposedly the person that you care about? But some people just are going to do what they do. And you got to know when to separate yourself from the situation. You'll have to know that, you know, enough is enough. You know, but that is how I found out that my ex had not one, but 2 children. And he lied about it. You know, he lied about it. And I actually spoke to the little boy maybe a year ago. I reached out to him. I wasn't sure if he was even going to remember who I was. But he did. He remembered who I was. Because I was trying to find his father. Because of some shenanigans that was going on. That I said, remember I mentioned in my last video, there's still things that is going on even years later because of the choices that I made and things that he pulled me into knowingly, knowing that he was not doing the right thing. I'm still dealing with those outcomes to this day. So I had to reach out to his son to figure out where the heck he's at, because there was shenanigans going on. But guys, that is the story time. I will say just learn from me, guys. Learn from me. Don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. And listen to your elders, as they say. Your elders, they know more than what you know. They do. Most of them do. So listen to your elders, because you can wind up saving a whole lot of misery just by taking their advice. Maybe you don't feel like it's the best choice, but in the end, I'm glad that I made the choice to listen and not just do what I wanted to do because I think I know best. But also at the same time, like I mentioned in my last video, you gotta, sometimes your elders don't know it all or don't know a particular thing, but in your heart, you know what's right. In your heart, you know what's the right decision. I feel. I knew what the right decision was. I knew the decision should have been for me to go, to leave him, but I didn't. And I'm dealing with that outcome of that decision to this day. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this here. We're almost done. And I'll be back to show you the finale and go ahead and end the video. All right, guys, see you in a few. All right, guys, so this is how my hair turned out. I'm gonna turn around so you guys can see. I have a whole ponytail situation in the back as well too. So we are looking pretty good as far as the styling and everything. I hope the video was helpful for you guys. Again, I just want you to be able to learn more about me and kind of just basically who I am and the different challenges and things like that that I've experienced in life. And not to sound funny, but now that I get to show, you know, and share or explain more of my experience in story times, do you understand the reason why your girl's in therapy? You know, I'm not making a joke or highlight of it or anything like that. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things that I am working through to better understand and be able to make better decisions for my life that is going to be beneficial for me. So that is that with that. So guys, if you have enjoyed this video, I appreciate that you go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, you subscribe, you hit the notification button, you hit the share button. As I always say in my videos now, guys, if you do not support me by leaving your comments or thumbsing up the video or sharing it or hitting the notification button, YouTube algorithm is just not going to work. So I need you guys to support me by making sure that you are engaging with me and everything so that my channel will be able to grow. I am wanting to have my channel grow. I'm wanting to be a positive light in people's lives. And the only way that that can happen is with you guys. So yeah. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. Make sure you stay blessed out there in those streets and make sure you treat each other kindly, God willing. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hey guys, so sorry for announcing the winners so late. I meant to announce it in last week's video, but I wanted to let you guys know that Bree Jean is the winner for the October 2023 giveaway. Bree Jean, you've won $25. It either could be to Amazon or to PayPal. So hit me up on Instagram and we will correspond so I can get the money out to you. Now guys, Bree Jean is the second time she's actually won. So she's actually won $50 on this channel. So guys, if you have not participated in the giveaway, for my future giveaways, you should participate for your chance to win $25. Alright guys, stay blessed and I'll talk to you later. You never feel the way